Hi guys, so today we're going to be working on this 2021 Toyota Tacoma named Oreo. Our challenge today is going to be changing these front headlights to aftermarket headlights with built-in DRLs. These are stock, so they just have the regular lighting accessories that come from factory, but we wanted to change it to something more aggressive, and we're going to do a tutorial with a full write-up on how to do this, including what tools you're going to need. So if you come over here, we have the basic tools laid out. So for today, we're going to use a flathead screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver, a set of pliers, which may not be necessary but could be useful, a ratchet, a 10mm, and an extension for the 10mm, which can be useful. You can also use a panel removal tool. We don't have one, so we're not using one. The majority of people won't have one, but you can get one on eBay or Amazon for a couple of dollars. Or you can just use a flathead, but be very careful with the flathead. Full discretion, we're not liable for any damage you may cause with any of these tools. So let's get on with the tutorial. So first thing you're going to want to do is open up your truck and open up the hood with this latch. So once you unlock the truck, you're gonna open up your hood right here, latch, push it up, get your hood prop, and make sure you set it correctly so this doesn't fall. If it falls on your head, you're gonna get hurt. You're not liable for any injuries. So now you're gonna move on back to your tools so you can get your first set of tools to take off these two bolts. So right now we're going to be using the ratchet, the 10mm, and your extension. So the first two bolts you're going to be taking off are these two 10mm. Only 10mm. I'll show you. See, you put this on, it doesn't move. It's the mounts for the actual grill. So all you're going to do is take them off. Once you take off these bolts, make sure that you do not lose them. Put them somewhere where you're not going to forget where they are. And if you want, you can take pictures of all of this before taking anything off, just to give yourself extra comfort. But generally, we don't have problems with that. So you take that one off, take this one off, you put it to the side and make sure you don't lose it. Maybe in a Ziploc bag. There you go. So for this portion, step 2, you're going to want a flathead screwdriver or a panel removal tool. I recommend a fine tip. This kind of has an edge on it. It might make it harder to use it for our intended purpose, but we're going to make it work. But you have to be careful if you use a flathead screwdriver because you are at risk of breaking your push-in clips. So step 2, we're going to go right over here, the corner of the headlight. There's an attachment for the grill. It's a flat push, a push pin. So you're just gonna push it up and that's it. It should be loose. Don't put too much force and you're good. We're gonna come to the other side, same corner. You have another push pin right here. Same thing. You're gonna slide it right in. It should come up. Don't put too much force, don't break it. That's it. Next, you're gonna want your pliers. You can also do this by hand. I recommend you be very careful with your pliers because you can break this clip. It doesn't really need that much force, but for those who need the extra force, use these, but use it very carefully. Try not to break your clip. For step 3, you're gonna wanna come right here. There's an attachment for the grill that goes right onto the frame. There's this brown clip right here. You're gonna simply push it together and push it through. If you can't do it by hand, do it with your pliers, but be careful because it's very easily broken. The next thing you're gonna wanna do is unplug this harness right here that connects. It's right here. And you won't be able to see the side that you're supposed to push, but there's actually a pin right here, a lever kind of, that you are gonna push down and it will unhook it. And it's kind of annoying to do at this angle, but you're gonna have to mess with it and it'll come undone. But try not to force it because you do not want to break this. But you can see right here, this is what you're pushing down on, and you push down with enough force and you just pull at the same time and it will come undone. Just try not to hurt yourself or break the cables because these are very sensitive. This is your safety sensor. You do not want this to be damaged because it can stop your emergency braking system. Okay, so right now we're gonna take off the grill. All your connections, your 4 points of connection should be off, and then the harness including. You shouldn't have anything connecting. Now you're gonna pull it off. It does take some force, but it comes off. You can see nothing's broken. It's not gonna come off with no force. It does take some force, but you have nothing left over. This is the wire you're looking at. This is the one that takes a lot of effort. Nothing's damaged. This is your 4 points right here, 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 and here, and you should be good. Some of you may have this connection used, or this connection, I believe. We don't have it. This is a base model, but if this connection is used and is somehow connected to your grill, because we're not sure what these do, you would also disconnect them. You don't want anything attached to your grill because you're going to stretch the harness and damage the factory harness, which is going to be very expensive in the long run. So for step number 6, we are going to be removing these push down pins. Again, we're using flathead. So we have 6 here at the top of the bumper. 1 is up here, 4 are down here connected to the frame, and then another one is on the opposite side connected to the headlight mounts. So same thing as usual. You're just gonna slide this in slowly and they will come out relatively low efforts. We're going to show each one because it can be confusing when you speed it up. This is pretty fail-safe as long as you follow the same instructions, and you have to be careful. Now that you got all 6 out, you're going to put them to the side wherever you're keeping all your spare pieces. Make sure you don't lose them because it's not going to be fun driving around missing one of those. So technically this would be step 7, but for us we're skipping this step. But some models you're going to have brown clips, 6 of them in these holes, the oval holes. There's 6 right here on the front face of the top of the bumper. Same thing as this brown clip, more or less. You're going to push it together and slide it out, and you got to be careful because those will actually break really easily, even more easier than the original clip that we did. But for those of you that have that, make sure to do that after step number 6. Okay, so this is step number 8, or well, we're gonna keep it simple. This is step 8. You have this plastic screw right here. So this is a new truck, it's not brittle, but if you have an older model, this may be really brittle, so you got to be careful not to break it because these plastic screws will they will age very quickly since they're on the exterior of the vehicle. So this is a 90-degree screw. So you're basically going to turn it clockwise 90 degrees and it should be loose and it should come out just like that. For step number 9, you're going to get your 10mm, and you could do this with a screwdriver in the specific portion, or you could also do it with a wrench, or you could do it with a ratchet. I'm doing it with the ratchet, it's what I prefer. You're going to do this on both sides just like this screw was done on both sides. You're just going to loosen it, remove it, relatively simple. And make sure once you take it out, you don't lose it, just like this screw. Put it in the same place as all your other screws. Don't forget where it goes. If you want, take a picture of how it was before so you don't remove it and lose it. Okay, so right now we're going to be pulling this bumper forward to reveal a 10mm screw that's hidden in this area. First thing you need to make sure is that this is not held on by the 2 pieces of plastic that are in there, because if not, you're not going to be able to get this off. This is on pretty tight. It's a pinch bumper, a pinch corner, so you're going to get your hand back here, kind of start pulling it out like that. Yeah, it's going to sound like it's hurting, but it really isn't. So then you pull this back, you have a 10mm bolt right here that you got to get off. And you're going to get your 10mm, slip it right in there, and just take it out. Same thing as usual, don't lose it because you do need this. Remember, you can always go back in the video if you missed anything. Make sure you have pushed out all the connections on the top of the bumper. It'll give you the most slack to get this off. If not, you're gonna have trouble. So yeah, you're gonna have to keep on going. So now that that's loose, you're gonna try to get it out. Might be a little bit annoying. Actually, I'm gonna try to get my pliers to remove it. Okay, and there you go. This is the 10 millimeter. It was in there. So you're gonna put this away. So now that you have completely disconnected your bumper and given it some slack to take out those two 10 millimeters, because there's one on each side, you're gonna go to the top of your headlight. You have these two bolts. One mounts to the fender, one into the front frame. They're attached to a headlight. It's these, they're on the black. So you're gonna undo them on both sides, whichever side first, doesn't really matter. Make sure, keep an eye on it, you know where they go. You're gonna do the other one. So right now, you're gonna pull these plastic tabs up so they're free and loose. This might get stuck in there. If it happens, don't freak out. Just be gentle with it, push it out and put it back in its proper place. It will work when you go back and put your light in. So now you're gonna have one clip down here. That clip is literally gonna be brute force. So make sure that your headlight is free, and that's it. Just try not to bang it on anything, you know, be simple. Now you're gonna have all your lights here. Generally, these all go in their respective place. So you are gonna want to undo each of them. If you want, take a picture of where they go. I know where they go, so I'm not gonna be doing that. You simply undo them. Don't let the headlight hang by the wires because you're gonna mess up the harness. Try to hold the headlight while you're doing this process. And as you see now, my headlight is completely free and you're free to put everything back together. So we're gonna take off our stock headlights, put them to the side, and start the process. So now you're gonna get your new headlights. Ours are from Spec D Tuning. You can see right here because we like their products. We have a warranty on them. We also have some stickers from Toyo Mafia. You should check them out. These are our headlights. I'm gonna show you one of them. So as you can see, they have a plastic cover on them. Keep this plastic cover when they're in storage because it prevents them from getting scratched. So you can see we have our bulb. We have the LED DRL. Really nice lights, really sleek. You're gonna make the truck look more aggressive. So now we're gonna be installing our headlight. Do the same for both sides. Each one is gonna go in its respective place. So your small light bulb is still gonna go in the same corner. So you're just gonna remove the light bulb, just like that. Put it in your pocket or something in case you wanna keep it. Plug it back in to new spots. And then that wire is gonna go in there. And you're just gonna put it in its correct pattern, which you're gonna have to mess around with it a little bit. Let's see. Well, I'm not having the best luck. There you go. You turn to the right. There you go. That's done. You're gonna do the same thing for each bulb. Oh, actually, this one, we're gonna need a flathead. So I got my flathead. You put the flathead in. You're gonna push this up, which is gonna allow you to remove the bulb. This is an H11. They'll say it on there. You're gonna plug it into the correct H11, which is right here. It's a low beam. And you're gonna do the same for your H9. So grab your H9. You're gonna grab the lever, loosen it, and it's free. Plug it into your H9. Now this is your blinker. Unplug it, plug it into here, and your only thing to do when it comes to that is find its respective pattern and plug it in, which you're gonna have not much trouble. And that's that. The only thing left is this relay. These actually get kind of hot, so I recommend that you place it on something metal. So for me, I'm gonna put it right here on the firewall. But you can actually kind of mess around with that. But I'm gonna put it right there in the corner, because that's where I like it the most. I feel safer with it. I'm not gonna put it on the light, so I don't think that might be a good idea. So I'm gonna put it right there in the corner. Obviously, you gotta kind of put the light in its little hole and stick it, but let me try to get it in there. Try not to scratch your headlight while you're doing this. And then you can just put it right there in the corner. So, can't really damage anything. Yeah. You also have to make sure that you slide in this lower piece right here. The same thing that took effort in the first time, you still have to push it back in. It's really easy to push back in. And that should be it. You should be good. That should be installed. And then you just have to reassemble everything. So this is our final product after assembling everything. It's really aggressive. It makes the truck look sleek and modern. Good quality. If you want to see more things like this, comment, subscribe, let us know what you think. Maybe we can even talk to a company, K2 Motors, Spec D Tuning, see if they could get us in touch. Maybe get our hands on some tail lights for this truck. It's an ongoing build. If you want to see more, comment, let us know what your ideas are. Thank you.